Have you ever felt like you're endlessly chasing after someone who just keeps pulling away? Well, today we're going to break down the science behind that really frustrating cycle so you can finally stop the chase and find the kind of secure, real love you actually deserve. You know that feeling, right? Breathless, maybe a little desperate, and just completely consumed by a relationship? It's not just you, and you're not going crazy. You were probably caught in a super common and really predictable dynamic. And it has less to do with who you're with and everything to do with a pattern wired deep inside us.
And this is the heart of it all. It's called the Anxious-Avoidant Trap. And listen, this isn't a personal failing on anyone's part. It's more like a feedback loop that's rooted in our basic survival instincts for connection. The very thing one person does to feel safe, getting closer, is the exact thing that makes the other person feel unsafe and pull away. It's a perfect, painful storm.
Let's just break this down. You can see here it's a fundamental clash of needs. The person with an anxious style craves intimacy to feel secure. The relationship takes up a ton of their emotional energy. But the avoidant partner? They need independence and autonomy to feel safe. Too much closeness feels suffocating. So the very thing that soothes one person literally panics the other. They're speaking two different emotional languages.
And here is a huge insight. That chaotic emotional roller coaster, the drama, the intense highs and lows that you might think is the spark, well, often it's not love at all. It's your attachment system, your primal wiring for connection, basically screaming on high alert because it feels deeply unsafe and uncertain.
All right, so how do you spot this trap in the wild? Before you get in too deep, let's get into the red flags and the key behaviors that really define this whole pattern. So when someone with an anxious attachment feels that distance growing, they often resort to what experts call protest behavior. Relationship expert Dr. Sue Johnson has this great name for it. She calls it the protest polka. It's this frantic, panicked dance that can look like passion or even anger, but really it's just a primal scream of "Where are you? Don't leave me."
So what does this protest polka look like in real life? Well, it might be blowing up their phone with calls and texts. Or it could be the complete opposite, the silent treatment. Or maybe even threatening to leave just to get a reaction. These things feel intense, for sure, but they aren't signs of true passion. They're just instinctual, panic-driven moves to try and jolt your partner into responding.
Okay, so recognizing your own patterns is a massive first step, but it's just as crucial to be able to spot the signs of an avoidance style in someone you're dating, preferably before you get tangled up in that cycle all over again.
The authors of the book Attached call these the smoking guns, the undeniable proof of an avoidant style. You know, if someone's constantly giving you mixed signals, or making you feel like you're too needy or too sensitive, or you just feel like you're talking to a wall, that is not a personality quirk. That's a giant red flag that they are always going to prioritize distance over real connection. Recognizing the pattern is one thing, but now we get to the really empowering part, your escape plan. This is how you break free and start building something healthy.
This new strategy is basically a two-part plan. First, we're going to talk about a radical shift in your mindset, and second, we're going to arm you with a really powerful new way to communicate. Okay, step one is all about adopting what's called the abundance philosophy. This just means you consciously decide to stop obsessing over that one person who makes you feel insecure. By dating a few people casually at the beginning, you actually calm your attachment system down. You're just way less likely to fixate when all your hopes aren't pinned on one single, often unavailable person.
And this right here, this quote gets to the absolute core of step 2. The whole idea is to stop apologizing for what you need. Stop hiding it. Start expressing it clearly and authentically. Your need for connection and intimacy is valid. Period. End of story.
So being your true, authentic self, that becomes the ultimate litmus test. When you can clearly say something like, "Hey, I really value consistent communication to feel connected," how they react tells you literally everything you need to know about their ability to show up for you.
And this is pretty much what you can expect. A secure person, they'll hear you and they'll try to work with you. Someone who's also anxious might actually be relieved by your honesty. But an avoidant person, they'll often feel cornered, maybe even criticized. They might say something like, "What do you want from me?" And right there, their discomfort is your clarity. That's your answer.
So, when you stop the chase, what's the actual destination? What are you moving toward? Let's get really clear on what the goal is. A secure, loving bond.
For that, we're going to turn to a giant in relationship science, Dr. Sue Johnson. She's a pioneer who basically discovered that all healthy, secure, lasting relationships are built on the answer to one single crucial question. Are you there for me? That's it. This simple question is the absolute bedrock of a secure bond. It's not about big romantic gestures. It's about a deep, quiet, consistent feeling of emotional safety. And it really breaks down into 3 key parts.
This brings us to her A.R.E model. It stands for accessible, responsive, and engaged. Accessible. Can I reach you when I need you? Responsive. Can I count on you to actually respond to my feelings? And engaged. Do I know deep down that you value me and that you'll stay close? That right there, that is the definition of a safe haven in a relationship. And look, you might have to retrain your brain on this. Because the calm, consistent, steady connection of a secure partner, that is the true spark. It's a warm, steady flame, not the chaotic fireworks of an attachment system that's constantly on high alert.
So please, take this to heart. Stop apologizing for your needs. Your need for closeness, for someone to be there for you, is not a weakness. It's a sacred duty you have to yourself. It's the very foundation of a real, healthy, secure love.
So that brings us to the final question you really need to ask yourself. Because at the end of the day, understanding these patterns isn't about blaming anyone. It's about empowerment. It's about giving yourself the power to stop running, to turn around, and to consciously choose a different path. One that leads not to another exhausting chase, but to a safe haven, the kind of love that actually sustains you.